honestly, or nothing stopped me from good Bible prophecy teaching and a PZOL weekend. So that I'm very grateful. And I'm very grateful that you guys came out. I hope that you all had a wonderful time and, got a lot of questions answered and a lot of things like that. So one of the things that I've been focusing on recently is you guys run into people who they're worried about the world. They're worried about how bad this is, how bad that is, and the Freemasons are taking over the world, and global warming this, and immigration that, and they're so busy hustling and bustling around and so worried about all this other stuff. And it was funny, I was talking to somebody recently about all this, and it just permeated the conversation. That was all that they were really concerned about, was all this stuff. And I threw out to him, and I kind of reminded him of the Great Commission and the Great Commandment. And I said, where does this fit in? And I said, why are you wasting all this energy worrying? And he was really worrying, and the black helicopters are coming to get me, oh my. And I'm sure you've all run into these sort of folks, and I have to admit it, I've even thought these things myself. But what made me start thinking is like, I asked him, I said, what are you doing for the Great Commission? What are you doing for the kingdom of God? Why are you wasting so much energy on all this stuff that you can't really control anyways? Why are you wasting this energy? And then I asked him, what are you doing for the Lord today? And it's just like, and he just, jaw hit the floor. He did not know what to say. He had absolutely no answers. And I say, what are you going to do when you face the Lord? What kind of rewards are you storing in heaven right now? Is this helping you build kingdoms? Is this kind of helping you store up your 401k in heaven? What is this doing for you? And again, he couldn't answer. And all of us fall into two scenarios. There are two scenarios. The scenario of the Christian and the scenario of the unsaved. And both of us come under a, quote, judgment, in a sense. For Christians, we are judged on what we get our rewards. And then we know what happens to the unsaved. But here's some interesting stuff. Do me a favor, if you catch your Bibles, turn to 1 Corinthians 3:11. 1 Corinthians 3:11. Get my Bible. Getting kind of blind here. It's just too much time from the computer or something. 1 Corinthians 3:11. And it says, and we're going to read down to verse 15. And it says, for other foundations can no man lay than that is laid, which is Jesus Christ. Now, if any man build upon this foundation gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, stubble, every man's work shall be made manifest, for the day of the Lord declares it. Because it shall be revealed by fire, and the fire shall try every man's work of what sort it is. If any man's work abide which he hath built thereupon, he shall receive a reward. If any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss. But he himself shall be saved, yet so as by fire. Now, that's what we as Christians have to look forward to. Now, let's turn to Revelations 20:11. Revelations 20:11. I'm sure many of you recognize this chapter here. I'm going to be reading down to verse 15. And I saw a great white throne, and him that sat on it, with whose face from whose face the earth and the heaven fled away, and there was found no place for them. And I saw the dead, small and great, stand before God, and the books were opened. And another book was opened, which is the book of life. And the dead were judged out of those things which were written in these books according to their works. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and the death and hell delivered up to the dead, and from them, and which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to his works. And death and hell were cast into the lake of fire. And this is the second death. And whosoever was not written or found in the book of life was cast into the lake of fire. Now these are the two judgments or the two scenarios that we will face. Either we will face this as an unsaved person, which I doubt anybody here does not fall into that realm, or we will face, the Bema seat, the Bema seat, and get our just rewards. But the interesting thing is this: if you go back to 1 Corinthians 3:15, and this is what really caught me, is that if any man's work shall be burned, he shall suffer loss, but he himself shall be saved, yet so is by fire. So meaning, when we get to heaven, there's going to be folks running around with stacks of crowns on their head. What will be our loss? What may be our loss for the work that we are not doing here? And a lot of people are saying, well, how can this be? How can I'm doing God's work and stuff. We're going to suffer loss. There's going to be some regret possibly up in heaven. It's like, wow, man, look at Paul. Look at what he did. How come I didn't do that? And this is all Ray paraphrased, of course. But I come to another verse here, and it's 1 Corinthians 15:34. Go to that one. 1 Corinthians 15:34. And it says here, awake to righteousness and sin not, for some have not the knowledge of God. And it says, I speak of this to your shame. How many folks here do we know that may suffer the Revelations 20? And then what possibly could it be to our shame because we didn't do anything about it? How many people do we know may burn in hell because we didn't do anything about it? That's our shame. That's something that's going to be a regret that when we get to heaven, we're going to like, wow, man, I look at Paul, he's got that crown. I missed out because I didn't talk to Joe. And so it's going to be a happy place. It's a perfect place. Heaven's going to be awesome. But I look at all these rewards, and how many rewards may we miss out on because maybe we didn't do a job here that we could have. I mean, how many here have you run into a person and you get that little tingling in your belly, say, hey, talk to them, and you ignore it? I know I've done it. And in fact, I knew a guy a while back when I was working, and my belly was telling me, go talk to him, go talk to him. In fact, Tracy told me to go talk to him and everything. He was on his deathbed, and I didn't. And I don't know if he's in heaven or if he's in hell. I honestly don't know. That's to my shame. That is a missed reward. And how many have you been in that position? How many rewards have we missed out? What shame have we lost out on? And because we didn't be obedient to the word. We live in the last days, and you can tell it's getting crazier and crazier. I mean, it's not by the day anymore, it's by the hour.